listening to my personal story. And I'm going to start with asking you, would you eat something that said may contain blood? Every time I have to pick up a snack that says may contain blood, this is how I feel. I suffer severely from allergies, and I was diagnosed at the age of 2 with allergies that result in anaphylaxis to peanuts, treenuts, chickpeas, lentils, sesame, and more. But what is anaphylaxis? Anaphylaxis is a life-threatening reaction that can happen when I eat certain foods or take certain medications. I could actually die. Imagine having to play Russian roulette with your life more than 3 times a day. In this society, should we really have to be doing that? I want to now tell you a personal story about the first time I really felt excluded because of my allergies. It was a brisk day in early September, and I had my brand new school uniform on, a big bow in my hair that my mum put on, and I couldn't wait to make new friends at school. But I was nervous. I was quite nervous that someone would find out about my allergies. But as I sat down in class, I made a new friend straight away, and I honestly couldn't believe my luck. I was so happy. And as lunchtime approached, I'd be able to go outside and play with my new friend. But little did I know that lunchtime would become a time I would hate the most. The dinner bell rang, and we rushed into the lunch hall, and the dinner ladies pulled me to one side. And they said, "You need to sit over there." And they pointed to a table that said, "The allergy table." I went over and sat on that table, and I wanted to cry. I was the only child at that table. My newly made friend walked away and sat with the other children. Then came the taunts of, "She has cooties, don't go anywhere near her. Let's put walnuts in her pockets to see if she really has allergies." Now, I really was the only child sitting alone at that allergy table. And kids can be cruel at that age, and I do believe that is because there's a lack of allergy education in primary schools. But now 1 in 13 children have a food allergy, and 40% of those have multiple food allergies. That means it's 2 in every classroom. So there's more people sitting on that allergy table. But should we still be excluding children? This has a much more deeper effect than just on the surface. Now, we all love I love sitting together around the same table with my family. We all enjoy sharing food and having a meal together, as I'm sure do many of you. Food creates that feeling of belonging, inclusivity, closeness, community. But when I was diagnosed with allergies, my parents had they call it the cherry on top, when there was absolutely no cure. So the only way to keep me alive was to prevent me from touching that allergen or eating that allergen. And that was scary. I remember one time vividly, I went to my nan's house for Christmas, and there were these teeny little sweets on the table, and they looked delicious, and I said, please, can I have one? And she said to me, "Yes, of course, sweetie, a little bit won't hurt you." I put the tiniest amount in my mouth. My lips started to swell. My face started to swell. My eyes went puffy. My throat, I couldn't breathe. I was suffocating. And I was rushed to A&E. And that was probably the 14th time food had tried to kill me by the age of 8. And what did they find out it was in those sweets? It was marzipan. So, holidays. Everyone loves to go on holiday, right? Well, I certainly do. But if you have kids, you probably need a holiday from that holiday. But some of my best moments and memories in my life have been whilst being on holiday. My parents were adamant that no matter the amount of times that we ended up in A&E, my mum actually was on first name basis with all the staff members. She decided from day one, though, my allergies were not going to define me, but instead they were going to encourage me to go out there and embrace my life and live my life with allergies. And I travelled the world, I really have. I've been to Tanzania, Costa Rica, Europe, China. I even got married in Antigua, which was another story, which was quite difficult. But through that time, my parents had that constant drive of, you can do this. However, some of the most horrific and scary moments in my life have been whilst being on holiday. Be it that flight where someone has opened nuts, despite an announcement being made saying there's a severe allergy sufferer on the plane, please do not open them. Or that restaurant that hasn't taken my allergies seriously and I've ended up in A&E again. Do you really think I should not be allowed to board a flight just because of my nut allergy? Because that's what happened to me. I was flying back from Dubai, and the airline said, I informed the airline I have a nut allergy, and they said, you cannot board this flight. I couldn't get home. I was a paying customer just like everybody else, but I could not get home. And one airline even said to me, oh, we need you to sit in the toilet with a blanket over your head. Like that was actually going to help my allergies. But I'm not the only one. In a recent survey of over 5,000 people, 11.8% of those people were refused boarding because of their food allergy. And it's costing airlines up to £600,000 just every time they have to do a medical flight diversion because of food allergy, which seems crazy. Dinner. Everyone likes going out for dinner in the UK, right? Well, I know I do. And there was even an eat out to help out scheme. Imagine I'm going to dinner with 5 other friends. Who do you think is going to be choosing where we eat? Of course it's going to be me, the person with allergies. But there have been countless times I've been refused at restaurants to even eat, or been asked to sign a waiver just to get some food. And I don't really want to be signing my life away every time I have a meal. But what restaurants are missing out on is that lost revenue. Imagine, it's not just me they're losing out on, it's the 5 other friends I would have brought with me. And also, a person who has allergies is so loyal to the brands or the businesses they choose because they can trust them. And you're always building trust with a consumer. Imagine if that restaurant could have a separate area where they could prepare food. Or maybe they could just move a few allergens from certain dishes. Could they swap sesame oil for vegetable oil? And would the food taste just as good? Could they increase their customers? Dating. Dating is an interesting subject. We all deserve to find love, right? Even people with allergies deserve to find love. But can you remember the first Valentine's date you went on, or the first date you went on? How nervous you were of saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing? Well, I'm going to tell you about one of my first dates. So the first thing I had to say was, have you eaten peanuts, treenuts, sesame? Because I cannot hold your hand, and I'm certainly not kissing you. Even though it's the first day. And that's exactly what my doctor said. He said to me, you need to tell them about your allergies. You really don't want the kiss of death. At this point, I thought, how embarrassing. But I needed to tell them. I needed to speak up. But from one important meal to another, I want to now take you on a journey with me and give you a glimpse on what it is like to live with allergies. Some of you, I hope quite a few of you, have got a piece of paper underneath your seat and it will say your allergy on there. Now, I've given you all allergies, but please don't worry, it's only going to be for the next few minutes, so you don't have to worry too much. But we're going to try and go to an awards dinner together, and we're going to see what we can eat on a set menu. So, we've just arrived at the awards and we've been given a glass of wine and we've sat down for the starter. So the starter is a sweet chili prawn salad with toasted sesame seeds on top. So could you all stand up please for me? Right, so I'm going to get you all to sit down when your allergy is on the screen. So unfortunately, if you have an allergy to crustaceans, celery, soya or sesame, please sit down now. It's all right, we've lost already some of you. Now the next thing is main course. So we've got a lovely roasted red snapper, but this unfortunately has fish, dairy and mustard in, so please sit down if you have any of those allergies too. Okay, we've lost some more of you. Right, well, we're moving on to dessert. And dessert is one of the ones I really, really struggle with. And that mainly is because it is the hardest thing with allergies. Usually I get offered a piece of fruit, and it's either an apple, or maybe if I'm really, really lucky, a slice of melon. But this dessert is a Bakewell cheesecake, and unfortunately it does have a lot of the allergens in, so you're probably all going to be sitting down at the end of this. But it's got dairy, gluten, lupin, tree nuts, and eggs in this. So please sit down if you have any of those allergies. Right, okay, so the people left, you will have allergies to peanuts and sulfites. So, we did get that glass of wine that was given to us at the beginning of the awards. Unfortunately, that wasn't organic and it contained sulfites. So if you have a sulfite allergy, please sit down as well. You are not going to be enjoying this awards with us. The only people left in the room are the people with peanut allergies. And that one is still pretty fatal, right? Now, the chef has unfortunately informed us that the kitchen, everything in there was made in a kitchen that handles nuts. So it comes with a caveat. Any dish has and may contain nuts, peanuts or tree nuts, because there wasn't a separation area and there was no allergy. So please sit down if you have a peanut allergy. So that means all of you are now sitting down. But let me tell you, that's not even the hardest part about having allergies. And I'm going to tell you why now. When we first arrived at the awards, we were all meeting and greeting each other, shaking hands. But there weren't peanuts on the table, and people had been eating them. So the people with a peanut allergy had then shaken hands with the person who'd eaten the nuts. So unfortunately, they've probably had an allergic reaction, and they're either rushing to get antihistamine, or they're in an ambulance on their way to the hospital. And I'm telling you this from personal experience. Allergies aren't just about the food that we eat, but the situations that we are in. A person with allergies has to think about these things before they even leave the house. Now I want to get back to the facts, though. At the moment, a recent survey that was done by The Guardian, 1 in 3 labels that were called vegan were found to contain milk and egg. That means 1 in 3 labels were wrong. Imagine having the allergies that I just gave you just a couple of minutes ago, and looking at the supermarket shelf, and see in the free-from area, the section that's meant to be made for you, made for the person with allergies, and you can see a sea of products where 80 to 90% of those products you cannot eat. And you cannot eat them because they have peanuts and tree nuts in, or, even worse, it's riddled with may contain alibi labelling. Do you really think that a product should be labelled vegan if it contains milk and egg? No wonder one person every 3 minutes is being rushed to the ER because of a food allergy. I'm an entrepreneur and I do take risks, but with those odds, how can I be expected to eat anything? Which brings me on to a question I really want to ask you all is, are allergies invisible? And I had this thought while sitting at an airport in the pre-boarding area, the special assistance area, waiting to pre-board a flight. And a mother and son came up to me, and the son said to me, "Why are you sitting here? You don't look like anything's wrong with you." And I was taken aback a bit, and I said to him, "Oh, you mean I don't look like anything's wrong with me? Okay, you mean I don't have a disability?" And I said, "I'm sitting here because I have a severe nut allergy, so I'm allowed to pre-board the flight to wipe down the seats, as I could unfortunately ruin your holiday in case I have an allergy on board the flight." His mother then said to me, "You don't really look like you have allergies, though." I laughed as well. I honestly didn't know what to say back to her. But it did make me think. It made me think of, what does a person with allergies look like? What does the media portray a person with allergies to look like? Are they the weird kid sitting alone at the allergy table with a bubble around them? Or are they the kid in the movies where they've got a big face with big lips because they've swollen up from having an allergy? I think I look normal like anyone else in here, but I do have allergies. So it brings me on to, are allergies really a choice? Because a lot of people say people choose to have allergies or choose to avoid certain things. But if allergies really were a choice, I can certainly tell you I would not be choosing to play Russian roulette with every meal. The choices we make, though, are the things that are going to make a difference in everyday life. I can choose not to let my allergies limit me. I can choose to travel the world and educate others, but we together can choose to be more inclusive. Now, do we turn, it's time for us to turn the lens back on ourselves. Do we really consider the impacts that our choices and decisions have on others? Do we say to the person who has diabetes, you can't eat any food? Do we say to the person in the wheelchair, you cannot board this flight because we can't be bothered? No, of course we don't. But it's those choices that make a difference. The food that we bring to shared spaces, the skincare products that we use, are all choices and decisions we make that ripple through the lives of others without us even knowing. I truly hope that my story and my personal experiences can help open the eyes of others to become more inclusive, and also give the person with allergies the belief that they can live their life without limitation. A regular teacher can teach a student something, right? But a teacher who has compassion, who's kind, who's caring, who includes every child, will be able to get that child to fulfill their dreams and inspire them. Sometimes we do have to believe in things that we haven't seen happen before. Because if we don't, how can we progress? Some things really do seem impossible until someone else has achieved it. The word, though, itself even contains possible. If you were to tell me, the little girl crying alone at the allergy table, or the 9-year-old me that was given 4 hours left to live, that I would be a CEO of a top 14 allergen-free food company selling to 18 countries, or made the Forbes 30 under 30 list, or even had an MBE, I would have laughed at you all. I would have said, absolutely no way. But I didn't do it by myself. I did it with the inclusion and support I felt from the smallest amount of people, my family, my husband, and a few friends. These people made a difference in my life. Imagine the potential that we could unlock as a nation if we were just more inclusive. I really would love to see the retailers truly make their free-from sections truly free-from, removing alibi labeling, removing all the may contains, taking nuts out and making products that are delicious without doubt for everyone. I also am calling on schools to put allergy education on the syllabus, because we can reduce bullying together. And I'm asking you all today, the next time you want to open that nut snack on board a flight, please think about it. I'm going to leave you with this now. The next time you think allergies are not that serious, think about this. Would you eat something that may contain glass? Thank you.